What's up, guys? So today I want to review the Sigma 10-18 f2.8. So most of my images are going to be landscape photos, but this is not really the review for landscape photographers. Of course the lens is sharp, all modern lenses are sharp these days, but that's not really the most important thing. I like that it's a small lens, pretty compact, and I like that it's ultra wide. It's nice to have a rectilinear lens that's this wide. So I got the lens because I make skateboarding videos, I'm a vlogger, my channel's Michael Relevant. That channel's mostly like how-to videos and just daily skateboarding content. So that is kind of a fringe use. There's not a lot of skateboard YouTubers out there. So if the lens was just for skateboard YouTubers, they wouldn't sell many of them. So the lens is a lot more than that. It's really good for photography too. So I took it to some dead malls and got some interesting photos. Those are some of my favorite. I like buildings that are kind of falling apart. So I took some photos of an old thrift store that had burnt down and got some interesting photos with a good sky. One thing about ultra wide lenses is you can get a lot in the frame, so you can get a nice sky. If you have a dramatic sky in the background, ultra wide lens is probably your best lens to use. So you can get a lot in the frame, but it does draw a lot of attention to the subject. Like in the picture where that couch is in the foreground, it draws a lot of attention. It makes whatever's in the foreground look kind of larger, especially if you're shooting with an ultra wide lens that still has an f2.8 aperture. So you can focus pretty close with this lens and you can kind of separate the foreground and the background. That's what makes it a really good vlogging lens. Also, if you have a camera with IBIS or good electronic stabilization, it's pretty stable for walking, talking head shot. Now, if you could get this lens on L mount for Panasonic, it'd be a lot more stable because their IBIS is a lot better. Or if you could get it on Sony and use it on the ZV-E1 with dynamic stabilization, it would look a lot better. So I was using it on Fuji. I filmed some skateboarding on it with a camera with no IBIS, but it does have electronic stabilization, and that's the xa-7, which is what I used for actually this whole video. All the photos and all the video is actually from the xa-7, which is a smaller, cheaper Fuji camera. It's not even an X-Trans sensor, but it still did a decent job and pulled out quite a bit of dynamic range. So I shot a lot of these in classic chrome, the skateboarding clips and the dead mall, the abandoned buildings. Then more of the landscape waterfall shots I was shooting in Velvia, so that's why they're more saturated. I didn't really do any editing to this stuff. Most of the stuff's just straight out of camera. Now, occasionally I did bring down the highlights or up the shadows or something like that, but not a lot of intense editing on these. So I like Fuji. I like Fuji's colors. I like to be able to get good images straight out of camera like this. I'm not super happy with any of these. They're not like artwork or anything, but I am decently happy with these images, and I like shooting all the way wide. I do like it at the 10mm. So I almost treat it as a prime. I would almost rather have a 10mm 1.8 like you can get on Sony. I rarely use that 18. So the 10 on Fuji is more like 15. The 18 is more like 28 or something like that. And the 28 has a lot less distortion, you know, if I have it all the way zoomed into 18. So whenever I took those portraits of those mannequins with the dead eyes in the dead mall, I used the 18. And yeah, it's useful to have that, but I would almost rather have a faster aperture than have that zoom capability. So yeah, so it's not as film-like as using like a film lens on Fuji, but it's clinically sharp. It looks good with the colors, and it's a modern lens, you know. They're all sharp these days. Who cares if you take a picture of a brick wall if the corners are super sharp? They're decently sharp these days on every lens. And Sigma's kind of known for sharpness. So yeah, it's a cool looking lens. It's fun to use. It's easy to use. I don't like the lens hood that much, how you have to pinch it on, but it's an enjoyable experience and I haven't had any problems with it. So I'm actually selling this lens on eBay and Mercari. I'll have a link in the description for this lens and some other things that I'm selling. I'm selling them a little bit below what most people are asking on the internet, so check that out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this kind of content, scroll through my channel, check out my other videos, and hit that subscribe button because I got a lot more videos to come. Thanks for watching.